and I wore these pants,
Oh.
and I think I was the coolest I've ever felt.
Second part of that question, I reckon hashtags are a myth. No,
You'll tell me what you charged them the first time.
you'll laugh in my face.
Some
it's not.
have literally
Okay.
been shocking. Their personal brand.
Sorry. Spice up the energy levels.
Oh, I did that. I did the lens cover.
Let's see, I told you we learned on the floor. So you
I
actually
did that doing basketball.
Did it actually work post that?
Like, is the challenge of being a ruthless video editor, because
How many times do you have literally a 90-second video or a 30-second, whatever it is, and then you look at your timeline, you're like, it's currently at 7 minutes.
That's what I mean.
How
It's
do
so
I
hard.
do this?
Yes, hello and welcome to episode 3 of TTC TV. This is a YouTube show designed to help you dominate content creation while we're on the path to doing so as well. Darren, how are you?
Great. I'm great. No, it's great to be back, as I always say. Episode 3. How are you doing this fine week? You're always up
I'm
and
good.
about. I'm going to preface this by saying that we're just going to cover what we did on a week, the topics that came up,
Yep.
the things we enjoyed thinking about that of course relates to content, but a lot of the time I'm going to relate to NBL. A lot of the time you're going to relate to whatever you get up to during the week because you get up to different things. But as always, what do we like starting with first?
Q&A.
It's just a good way to start.
It is a good way to start. And excitingly, I mean, it relates to the first question, so we'll jump straight into it. But this is from Tamron. Do we like Stitch Untitled? What is Stitch Untitled?
Give us your best plug. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we are decked out in Stitch Untitled gear and we love it. Can I say,
Logo branding awareness.
So I guess Stitch Untitled, STITCHUNTITLED.
Wow, you did that. If you did that,
Yeah.
no, that's 100% correct.
I'll put it up on the screen here. This is their page, this is their logo. But
You did well there.
can I say, I shot a basketball game on the weekend and I wore these pants and I think I was the coolest I've ever felt.
No,
in terms of the way I filmed and felt.
It's definitely a fashion upgrade. Like
Thank
normally, I was laughing the first episode we did this. We were rocking up in trackies, but you got to be comfortable. But they are nice. I'm still in trackies. Maybe Stitch Untitled. Maybe ×2 on those ones.
No, I don't know if they do trackies, but
No, as in ×2 on them.
Oh,
I'd like
yeah.
to- as in, I'd like to upgrade my trackies to those.
I quietly wouldn't like that though, because
It doesn't have to be the same color. How many options do you have?
I think this is their special green pair, but I mean, feel it, like the corded. You know, I'm a sucker for like comfy non-jean
Yeah, that's good,
pants.
actually.
And we've also got Darren is actually about to wear a hat. Well, not a hat, people. But
Question: how late into your career as a person can you sort of adopt to being a hat person or not? I've never been one. He's never been one. But can you just start wearing it?
sun smart shouldn't be a fashion statement. Just be
No,
smart.
just wear sunscreen. I wear sunscreen every single day.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. So Stitch Untitled, I guess, supporter of 2x Creative, and we're a supporter of them as well. So it's great to have. I mean, I was going to say them on board, but it's a nice play on words, isn't
No,
it?
I'm happy to be wearing it. It's comfortable.
Play
Tara's
on,
doing
no,
some cool
did you like it
things.
though?
What did you say?
Nice to have them on board. It's like on board.
Why is that a play on words?
Well, because it's like on board us.
Next question.
But yes, Taryn, we love Stitch Untitled, obviously. Next question.
That wasn't good. No, I'm going to read this one. J.R. Smith played for the Denver Nuggets and New York Knicks. He wants to know, once his retirement.
He bombarded us with about 6 questions, so JR just chose 2.
Just 2 of them. First one, pricing system we use. 0, right? 0. Is that not what you meant?
I don't think that's the... I think you meant like hourly,
I
half
thought
day
you
rate.
meant, I thought you meant the software that we
great-
use to invoice. Shout out 0.
That's great. 0 sponsor. It's actually taking
I
me
have
off.
not read this one. No, I have actually.
Take me off guard. Everything I do is hourly. Oh, sorry, half day or day rate. So I think there was a not a misconception, but we used to, when we started it, do hourly,
I always used to, yeah.
and it's just, in my opinion, not the wrong way to do it, but it just doesn't make sense. So day rates, half day rates. That's both for videography. That's both for editing, photography, and then combined, it's all based off half and day rates.
I think it makes a ton of sense because I used to, so full clarity, Michael, he's pretty helpful with that type of stuff because, once again, if you're full-time freelance, you're going to dive into this stuff more. And I think you did early days anyway, but I used to always be like, I need some help with pricing because I wasn't great with it. And I used to always do per hour, but it just doesn't make sense to me when you could be an elite scale, person A is an elite scale graphic designer, person B is not so elite. Why does person B technically get more if you charge per hour because they're going to be slower than the elite
it doesn't
one?
it doesn't make sense because you're like, I work far quicker than you, but I'm far better, but I'm gonna actually hurt myself by doing that.
Yeah, I'll create a logo in an hour and it'd be elite, and then the slower person will create it in 3 and get more money because you charge by it doesn't actually make sense when you put it like that. So I think half day and full day.
And a quick one on this, I want to tell the viewers at home transparently who can't speak this week, but a transparent sort of insight into what we do. There's been a few occasions where Darren has brought like a past client that he's worked with.
Where are you going with this? I'm confused.
It's on pricing. So past clients he's worked with and be like, let's work with them again, or they want to do another shoot. And then you'll tell me what you charged them the first time.
You'll laugh in my face.
Some have literally been shocking, and it's been a real eye opener for both of us of like what we used to charge. And it's not all about money, but I think it's funny because
it's valuing yourself. Though.
And now our updated sort of pricing system or structure. I did this with you last week. I'll hit you with the price, and then you'll compare it to your first one, and we're like, well, that's just what it is now. So
progression. It's all about progress because it is funny when sometimes you get too caught into like the mates rates and stuff as well. Like, I kind of know this person, so I'm gonna give him a good deal, but value yourself, and they'll also think your content and stuff is better if you charge more in a funny way.
It's a
not think, they'll realise because it's not like a lie.
We need to run through these questions quicker, don't we? But there's a psychological thing to that as well that I actually learnt, good segue to the marketing and social media summit that I went to that I'll touch on soon, that there's a psychological thing that if you associate higher prices, it makes sense that you associate that with better product.
Yes. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yep. Next one. J.R. Smith, editing, and I like that name every time. Editing and shooting efficiencies to save time in post. I've got a really quick one I touched on last week. Just literally, I was going to say shoot less, but also try the method of like kind of flagging.
With purpose?
All with purpose, but try the method of like flagging once you've got a good clip that you know will work in post.
Oh, I did that. I did the lens cover.
Let's see. I told you we learned on the floor. So you actually
did that doing basketball.
Did it actually work post?
Yes, because I posted a couple of things and they weren't meant to be fancy recaps. They were just meant to be the best plays.
So once you got a good highlight, you went like that at the end?
No, I stopped and then pressed record again with the black hand because then on the Adobe encoder, you can see the black and the one to the left.
I think that's the best one for everything unless you got another one.
Just the old color labels as you're actually shooting.
Yeah, true. I'm always fascinated looking at. I walk past Luke from work. Look at his Premiere stuff. It's just always funny.
Good color labeler.
Yeah, good, like bright color label. Yeah, mine's pretty not bright anyway.
This is really recent nation stupid question. Do you have any go-to colors? So, for example, B-roll is always yellow for me.
Wow. No, I was gonna say B-roll is always no. B-roll's always the mango option in Premiere.
For you?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's always yellow.
We actually didn't.
What do you use for B-roll?
Didn't realise that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Bit like actually, 2 times creative orange for every single B-roll. No, it's actually is a bit like that mango. Anyway,
funny. All right, I'll grab the next one. This is from Paddy. So last week we answered a question that was incorrect.
Clearly
totally
we didn't
wrong, but
take it right.
We gave him a good insight. So he asked a question about the benefits of advertising your work as a business versus as a sole freelancer. So that's more like how that might impact a client's perception of what you do. I don't know what we answered last week, but we'll answer this one. So,
true.
I guess the pros and cons of, promoting yourself as an individual person versus a company.
Yes, that's a good way to frame it.
So maybe we go pros of an individual person. So I reckon personal brand comes into it a lot more.
Yes.
You get to sort of, I guess they're always dealing with the main expert as opposed to like with a company you sort of might think you might just get Adam the junior videographer as opposed to Darren the expert.
True.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's who you're dealing with on the other side. Yeah, true.
Any other pros for individual?
I just think it makes it easy to keep doing business with him if you know
who you're getting, what you're getting. Yeah.
You feel closer to him.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps.
Yep. Yeah. Pros as a company?
Well, it depends what type of company. If you're working with the aura of Nike, like the aura of a name that people know, it feels very like you feel good about working with them because they've established their brand. But if you're a lower level business,
well, I guess it's more like clearly showing that there might be 4 or 5 plus people on your team.
Yeah. No, it could also be the perception of it being a larger team as well. Like you're like, oh wow, this is a proper, whatever you quote as a proper business, but this is a proper business because I thought it might only have this one guy, but I actually see there's like 5 or 6 employees.
So that like perception of expertise because there's more people, which
also
are going to be
trust in them as well.
Because there's more.
If there's more, sometimes. Yeah. I think it definitely it has its positive and negatives because if you just started a business and it's like a brand nobody really knows yet, but the person itself who created it is much bigger online or whatever,
Yeah.
or you just know of them and you trust them, then it's probably best to deal with. You'd hope to deal with them in a way.
I think what's massive that I think about this is that so many big dogs, their personal brand.
Sorry, spice up the energy levels.
Their personal
Energy levels.
brands are bigger than the companies. So, like, obviously, I love doing, like, we treat Two Times Creative as a combined personal brand, for example, because I think the human element is so important. But
Yes.
thanks for the question, Paddy, and
I hope
that we
better.
answered that one. Yeah.
Take two on that one.
What's the next one, Darren?
Justin, does timing of posting and using hashtags really matter with reaching the most people? I guess
Short
two
answer,
questions.
no.
I remember there was a time you were really into timing, and you had to go at me for like Shooter's Pod
Oh, I wouldn't say really.
Well, I have a podcast with Jack McVeigh. I hope he's doing well. But there was a time I swear I posted one, and you're like, "Why are you posting that at that time? You should really."
Yeah, there were.
But maybe it was a stupid time. So I think you got to be reasonable. Like if you're posting it at 2 a.m. versus 9 a.m., maybe go the 9 a.m. option. But I don't think it matters too much. I remember some people are very heavy on it, and maybe it works.
I don't think it matters at all these days. I think good content will prevail as of the landscape right now, I think.
But sometimes you do notice it. I remember when I
Yeah.
was in like Vegas doing Summer League stuff, you're like, I want to post these photos, but you're like, I know it's only American time and my audience is Australian.
Depends who you want to reach.
True.
Want
And
to reach as well.
second part of that question, I reckon hashtags are a myth. No, for the longest time, like when social media first happened, created, hashtag was such a thing. Like you have to hashtag like video content and I don't know, entrepreneur and all that stuff to be seen. But I still don't know if they work.
Platforms like LinkedIn, if you just the basic Google, like you'll ask the question to Google, they'll tell you it helps. But apart from that, I don't think
It has to help somewhat, but I've never found much success from it, honestly.
Dylan Taylor, recommendation for lapel mics for a basketball coach. Well, I'll just happily close this off saying my experience with DJI mic 2s, that's not the actual lapel.
Pristine.
But yeah, we've got them on now because Darren forgot the handheld ones. Different look today. But maybe it's also just to show off Stitch a bit better because we don't want our hands covering. Yeah. We did that for you, Taryn. But no, DJI mic.
Did you say Taryn or Darren?
Taryn, Stitch Untitled.
Moving on.
Bobby.
No, I've only ever used Rode mics, and as soon as you have the Rode squares with the lapels, they work well as well. These are nice. These are firm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Firm. Last question, Bobby. What is next on your books to do? Well, a lot. Nah, there's.
I'm swamped.
There's What are you up to this week? What are you working on in the business?
What are you next doing?
Well, for us, next week we're going to launch we touched on it last week, I think it was, the short course. It's a free video, Dominate Content Creation in 10 minutes. And we created this because I think a lot of what we spoke about, we wanted to put it into a video and give it to people for free to show off our expertise, I guess. So we're going to launch that. That will be out next week.
Very good.
Exciting.
What's next on the books for... Yeah, no. It is exciting, actually.
And then the only other thing I thought of for me for working on the business week to week was another retainer client. So
as in,
bit of an open...
like it's a goal.
Yeah. Short-term goal. I just want another retainer
You haven't even told me about that.
Oh, I probably have. It's probably been since the start of the business.
No, as in not that you want to get one, that you got one. I thought this was telling...
Oh, no.
And I was like, cool.
That would be funny.
Who is it?
No, it's the question, what's on your books to do?
Yeah, retainer clients, I get the sense, and I can only get the sense that it's a big confidence kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm on board with this person
for
like
it's a huge backlog.
Big amount of time, and it feels good. Yeah. Confidence booster. Your week, Michael.
Let's jump into our weeks. We'll start with the What?
No, go on, sorry.
We'll start with you. So on Monday last week, I went to the Australian Marketing and Social Media Summit because you complimented my networking.
Yeah, I was looking back on that.
Smooth.
Me trying to say how good it is that Michael networks and puts himself in these events. And last week I was going through something because when I said that, I was just like, and you put your hand...
it was the foot in the...
the foot in the door or something.
Yeah, but in the ocean. You said the foot in the ocean.
I'm feeling better this week about speaking, but no, you do well. Good. How was it? You said you took so many pages of notes, and I thought just saying it would have been good if you actually presented these notes. If you just flip.
That'd be too much. I think the biggest thing is we heard from 3 people overall, 3 totally different people with 3 totally different stories and 3 totally different messages, if I'm completely honest. Like, some even contradicted each other. Like,
yeah, you said that actually.
Which was funny, but, I mean, it could have been done on purpose to show the variety. But the biggest thing I took away with it is you need to find tiny bits and pieces that you resonate with to apply to your business and yourself, because I think it would be so easy for people in this situation like this to try to like copy someone 120%, saying I need to do this, I need to do this course, I need to do exactly what they did because they're successful.
Yeah, I think it's a great point with this whole content creation business and all that in general, that just because someone does something that works for them doesn't mean you have to do it, and doesn't mean you should feel bad or like you're doing something wrong or not successful if you don't do it their way. Because like someone could be the most outlandish sort of like brand and like always push the boundaries, always do these things, and you're like, you know what, maybe my brand is too conservative, and then you post something or you be like provocative or something, and then people are like, I don't like this. Like, and anyway, you just have to find your lane somehow. It probably comes with trialing, and that's probably, these things probably make you think, hey, maybe I could try it, but try it. Don't be like, this is what my brand is now. Kind of thing.
I agree. And it's like you try those things that are the tiny bits you taken from other people. But two other quick ones is what I touched on before about there's so many definitions of success. Because it's like some of those people, the people that presented, money was a massive driver for them, and absolutely that's great. Like that's amazing. But it doesn't mean that should be your driver. Like another person, their driver was just to be totally authentic to them and their community, which probably relates more to us. So again, picking and choosing what's successful. What does success actually mean? Like
and somehow have fun with trialing that stuff. Like what's successful to you is in, hey, that social clip went well. I feel good about myself. Does it bring in money? Maybe yes, no. But there's many different layers to whatever the hell success is defined.
And so many different paths to success again, just to wrap it up. So really good, but I think really clear that it'd be so easy for people just to totally change their brand based on one person's opinion, which I don't think you should do.
Yeah, exactly. The next one, you must be really passionate about color labeling because you want to mention your editing workflow.
Oh, I didn't realize that question.
You could have segued into it, but we can talk about it again.
No, we don't.
What color do you
yellow.
use most?
No, we don't need to go into it, but it goes into the world of a freelancer, because the other week where I had 4 shoots in that week, I was out of the house a lot.
4 shoots.
Well,
over 5 days or 7 days?
5 days, remember?
Jeez.
Yeah, remember?
Let's take a moment.
It's like
let's take a moment to appreciate that.
We talked about the other episode.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's a contrast to this week where it's just been I left the house. No, it was still client work, but just editing. I actually had to get out of the house yesterday just to freshen up and go to the shops and whatever.
You don't look that fresh.
Anyway, but the
editing, you do in that Stitch Untitled clothes. Go on.
Yeah.
Put that on. I reckon. Yeah, go on.
It would actually suit it. But I think the message here is that the editing workflow, you have to be so ruthless. I'm not actually going to wear that.
He looks like a quick side joke. Who's seen you on Netflix, the stalker guy? I said whenever we put hats on, it looks like that. Move on.
Anyway, my point to editing from home all week is the challenge of being a ruthless video editor, because no. In terms of what you do and don't use, I edited a video where I literally probably spent not half the time, but a significantly less time, because I was just saying, these are the best bits. We're fitting into a 40-second video. You can only use them plus B-roll. And it was great.
Yeah.
It's hard, though.
I was going to say it's hard, but it is a good feeling when you have to be, because otherwise how many times do you have literally a 90-second video or a 30-second, whatever it is, and then you look at your timeline, you're like, it's currently at 7 minutes.
That's what I mean.
How do I do this? So being ruthless would peace of mind for you and even the client, because you can go back to the client being like, this is the best stuff. Like, I'm very confident in this, what I've done here. Kind of thing.
Can I ask a side question to that? What is your process of something like that? So you've got a video that you've got to get down to 1 minute or below 1 minute. You've got a 7-minute timeline of all your footage. What do you do? Do you go V1, V2, V3? Like, do you duplicate sequences?
Well, I always do the whole, like, once I've got that, and like my normal workflow is like you do a clips one, so like everything you everything into timeline.
Like a raw timeline?
Yeah, raw timeline is in like, and then you cut it up, and then you leave that, and then once you actually want to...
Do you colour it in there? Labels?
Not normally, actually. Oh, no, yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's mainly just like B-roll, and then I just leave the blue as like the normal, whatever.
Yep.
Or audio. Yes, depends. I think sometimes
you duplicate that and start editing and chopping it down?
Yes. Yep. And then if I do get to a point where I edit and it's still at 7 minutes, but I don't want to lose it, I might just be like a V2 and
Yeah.
Because it's very a peace of mind thing. A peace of mind is like a big thing for me because I don't want to lose. Like even if the direction of the video is strong, but it's too long, you don't want to lose it.
I really like that, and I think people should do that. If you don't, like, once you've cut up the raw clips, start making a version 1, and then it almost gives you a safety net to make a version 2 to be ruthless and go into a direction.
Yeah, true.
And if that direction pays off, you've got the V1.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, you've got 2 cool options that you can almost just present to the client if you really want to.
True.
Although that's more work.
Yeah. Last thing for my week, or 2 quick ones. Our best performing reel is now up to 45,000 views and counting on Instagram.
Good.
And I don't know if it's worth touching too much on it, but it's basically me explaining a Rode accessory for our cameras to get 2 audio inputs when usually that camera only has 1. And I thought it was just a good note of what actually works on social media because we're obviously trialing lots of stuff, and what I take away from that is you're providing value, you're providing relatability, it's all iPhone footage, it shows my face, and it's clear to follow in terms of like a story. So just a bit of a nod of something that's performed really well on socials for us.
Yeah, I think the 2 categories is like helpful and relatable. Like you straight away were just like, hey, this is a problem that I assume a lot of other content creators face. So I'm going to do it in just a quick way of being like, because like there's something in that, and I think it's something our business coach and stuff alluded to, but you relate more to people if you kind of do it in a more scrappier way, as in it's almost like you're like, hey, I've just found this problem, so I'm going to quickly show people. It's not like, hey, I've just found this problem, but I've lost motivation for it after doing like 4 hours just like editing a cool video. Yeah, maybe that enthusiasm.
No, you could have passed that without drawing attention to it.
Enthusiasm comes across over the screen sometimes, like through the content. So
and it turned out people did have that same problem.
Yeah, and
which
it's like
is why it performed. I think.
Exactly, and people were kind of like lots and lots of questions of like, but doesn't this work, or how do you do this? Like people are genuinely curious. Yeah, it works. Next one, Tassie trip.
Yeah,
you don't want to touch on that?
Last one for me, which relates to you.
I love talking about myself. I'm almost here. If you skip to this part, Darren gets to talk.
You done? I'll wrap it up in 10 seconds. I'm going to Tassie to shoot the Jack Jumpers content day for a 1-day quick trip on Tuesday. So next week we'll touch on how that went.
Love it. Tassie's
just tease it for next week.
True. Tassie's a wonderful place. Have you been?
I've never been.
Wow.
I don't think.
I've been there a fair few times. Lovely, chill, underrated. People seem to bag it like Adelaide. Don't know why.
Do they? Anyway, it's not a travel show.
Adelaide.
Get onto it. What do you get up to?
No, number 1 on my list, client perception. I just wanted to see what you
Client perception.
Client perception with bigger equipment. Now this is something that's in general, that's how I'm explaining this, but this is something that has popped up a few times in the past where, like, how do you feel about if you upgrade equipment and you get a bigger body, a bigger lens, bigger lighting, everything. 1, you rock up to a shoot probably more confident.
Yeah.
But 2, I reckon the client, I guarantee a lot of clients would be like, hey, that person knows what they're doing 100%. Purely because they've got more equipment. But do you think that's a fair thing? I think I'm in 2 minds. I'm like, yeah, it's a fair thing. But it's also like if you have someone on a budget, if you have a young person who doesn't have the money for all these la things, all the bright and shiny things, then and the output of the content is equally as good, I feel like you should almost wait for the content to be delivered. Yeah. But in the same breath, I think it still makes sense that person that rocks up with all these cool stuff and they direct people, they know what they're doing, they elude confidence, you're probably going to be like, exude confidence, sorry.
Good one.
Thank you, correction. You're probably going to be like, I trust this person to deliver the hell out of my brief.
Yeah, I think it is absolutely a thing, and I think it's a great topic that you've brought to the table, so well done.
Next, moving on.
No, can we talk about it?
Oh, yeah, I thought
No, just quickly, I think it's 100%...
Handshake normally like seals
No,
the end.
I think it's 100% a thing, I agree with you. I think the only time when it might not be a thing is if you've worked with them before and you can see they can create X, Y, Z from little. So you might have worked with them and they might just rock up with a tiny backpack and stuff. Yeah. But apart from that, the biggest thing I've found is the confidence from myself if I rock up.
Yeah. I wrote about that in the newsletter this week.
Yeah, subscribe.
Last week.
2timescreated.com.au/newsletter.
I think, you mentioned it. Confidence is the biggest reason why I think you should upgrade a camera or equipment or anything.
And that alone would give the client more confidence because you're more confident.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence is the key to life.
So if you've got money, spend it. I don't care if you need it.
It's also, it depends what you're shooting. Like I'm talking about like interviews and proper setup and stuff. But if you're on the road or whatever. And there are examples where you rock up to like a pretty casual event or a event you'd rather be inconspicuous with, and someone's like I'm ready to go, like a news camera thing. You're just like, oh, I don't think you need that.
You know what else helps with client perception is looking good. So if wearing stitched untitled clothes. Did you like that?
No, that was
I've worked it already.
It's actually true.
All right, next one.
And get a haircut. Love a haircut. Next one. Everyone would have heard this. Pendle, I'm not going to sing it to you, but it's going to...
Well, not everyone. If you don't follow AFL, quick little nod on...
Oh, true, yeah. If you're an AFL lover, you would have known this, but Scott Pendlebury, obviously an icon of the game, ticked over 400 games. I don't know, how many people reach that milestone? You like footy more than me.
I don't know, get on to it.
Get on with it. Anyway.
How does it relate to the people in the content world?
Yes, no, it's true, it's quick. So, I should have plugged this guy's name, but someone...
I think.
Ben someone did like a song on Scott Pendlebury. Basically, it's just him strumming his guitar, cool little vibe. He's actually, the lyrics
it's like
it's almost like a comedic song. Yeah, and he actually makes things rhyme. It's a really fun piece of content, and someone from the Collingwood Football Club must have been like, hey, that's gone pretty well. Like, obviously, it's the advantage of clips going viral and everything. But they're like, this is really cool. I'm going to get Ben, what's-his-face, into the club to sing to all the Collingwood boys. Scott Pendlebury's up there. Collingwood have put a video on their YouTube, which is really cool. I just thought it was cool that, official clubs and official leagues can be like, hey, this is a fun piece of content. I know this is a serious milestone and celebration, whatever, but they got Ben in and he performed to them. It was a cool vibe. It was a really cool vibe.
I think what it shows is that niche content, content comes in all forms. So like maybe this guy got noticed because he actually took his social media seriously, for example.
No, literally.
Put himself out.
Developed his brand. I just thought it was really cool.
It is cool. Now what?
Now, actually, I'm going to stick with the content train and then I'll go back to the other one. Remind me, Media Day content. We'll talk about that.
Relates to Tassie, doesn't it? Similar vibe.
Oh, true, yeah. Good segue. We're doing similar things. Next one.
Good segue from about 4 topics ago. No, 3 topics.
That's fine. Next one was a funny thing. Good little vibes in these 2 back-to-back ones here. But Guy, my boss, he sent this one through. It's quite funny, but it brings together an actual issue for content creators. But there's this YouTube video. We might be able to link it or whatever.
Can we watch it?
Oh, true. It goes for like 20 minutes.
Well, show me a snippet.
Okay.
I just want a bit of live reaction.
Yeah, true.
What are you showing me here?
Yeah, true.
Does it relate to, I think it relates to my clip that I'll put up on socials that we put up on YouTube of me running with a gimbal with the Melbourne Storm player?
Not really. It's more about back issues and stuff.
But that's what I was joking about.
Yeah. So essentially, it's this dude. I'm going to shout him out, Mark Bone. He actually does some really cool like cinematography stuff. He's like pretty big on YouTube. But anyway, he's done this video. He just starts off by saying like, hey, this is my posture from holding a camera over years and years.
Workouts that you can do to be more fit so that you can make sure you can hold a camera longer. Because I actually have been holding a camera so long that it's impacted my body. My spine is curved. If you look at this photo, you can see how much slumped my right shoulder is, where I usually have a camera on my shoulder. It's not good.
And he's got a point. Like it does make us sit weird and whatever. But essentially, it's him just introducing it, and then he literally goes to a gym and finds a 20-minute workout from this dude who's like a personal trainer. But the 20-minute workout is for content creators and for people who have back issues from not sitting up straight when they're on the baseline shooting sport or whatever.
A great point, because you've often picked me up on when we're shooting. We might be at the same basketball game, and Darren would look across the court, and I'm literally like this, and Darren's like,
Micah's like properly like bent over.
No,
like I understand.
I'm trying to get the low angle.
Yeah, but you can get the low angle, but you can actually just put your camera on the ground and be like this. But Micah's like, here I go.
I think my A7 screen didn't tilt that far.
True. Well, FX3 maybe it's better.
But no, that's a funny idea and actually quite helpful because
it's just amusing that people have actually taken the time to be like, hey, we're gonna like target content creators and make their back posture and all that. Anyway, it's a funny story because my back always hurts when I do that stuff. Anyway. Fix your posture. Next one, Media Day that's all right.
Too far.
Media Day content.
You've got yours coming up, don't you? So I guess that's probably why I'm doing the Tassie Jack Jumpers, because we do the same sport.
We do a league-wide one, and then the clubs do all theirs by themselves as well. But it's just one of the. I was just going to ask you actually, what's some of your favorite sort of Media Day content off the top of your head? Just like, because there's so many options you can do, and honestly, it's like the one time you pretty much get all players in the same spot. So you're like, I want to make the most of it, but you also want to capture content that actually works, because like, there's a lot of times you probably just capture content because in theory you're like, this is cool, but it's like, are you actually going to use it? Where are you going to use it?
I
Give me
always
some ideas.
I always found them really tricky because everything's been done, and to be honest, a lot they're just boring. Like if you're gonna do the same sort of poses,
I was
excited. It's always a great day, but everything's been done because often people will just be like, oh, what should we do? Like, should we do arms cross? Should we do like everything's been done, and those things come in handy.
Photography. Yeah.
I think the best things that I've seen executed is always just the raw behind the scenes stuff because all the players are in the one room. You get them in their natural selves, being their natural selves, and then also people planning ahead. So like if you've got a milestone game, you chat to the people then about whatever Pendlebury's 400. Then that's when you get the interviews. If you've got a quiet 2 weeks off and you need to talk about the Boomers or FIBA basketball, then you ask them then. So it's just planning ahead.
Exactly right. I was literally thinking, I'm like, whose milestones do we have so we can actually bank some content? But
utilising time, in short. I don't have any whiz bang. That's not saying poses to throw to you though.
No, it's just more, it's the one time you get everyone in a room. It's a fun time, but it's also a time you want to capitalise most.
Big days.
And you also want to make the players happy to be there.
Yeah.
Players are just like, what, guys, I'm done.
And the massive thing of that is organisation. There's nothing worse than I've experienced where people are literally like on the spot thinking, what should we do next? The players are just like, well, I've got like 30 seconds till I need to get to the next station. So like,
they're just like in it for they're just staring at their schedule, like ticking things off.
Are you doing that this week?
No, September 8th to 10th in the Gold Coast.
It would be, we could do a bit of a recap one. Maybe I'll link what I did with Tassie and what you did, a bit of a media day episode.
Yeah, because yours will be a proper. No, actually, I don't want to say. No, I was just thinking.
I think he's about to say something he wasn't meant to say then.
Anyways, the last thing I wanted to touch on, and I just thought this would be an interesting conversation, but do you reckon radio shows have a future? Because so we're all big about podcasts and YouTube shows and everything, but I will take us back to our childhood, Michael. And how much did we enjoy watching Home and Away? Actually, Home and Away is probably not one.
It's not a radio show.
But anyway, no, I'm getting somewhere. Things like Home and Away, Sunrise. Do you know why we enjoyed watching those things and live things? I've got an answer for you, but do you know why we did enjoy?
Because we were simple humans.
Because we feel connected to the world. Like you can. I feel there's something special about, maybe not special, but it feels good. Or it's good to have a break from all our own content that we schedule ourselves.
Yeah.
There's something about not tuning into something that's connecting to the rest of the world watching. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
It's like FOMO.
Yeah. No, even just like.
Sorry, the opposite of FOMO. You're tuned in. You're not fear of missing.
You actually.
Well, it's fear of missing out, so it is FOMO.
You're not missing out, so it feels good. But I just thought to myself, like...
OMO.
I'll start something new, but I was just like to myself, I put on the radio because the podcast I listened to was done. And I'm like, there's something nice about listening to something that's live and everyone else is hearing the same thing, and you just feel like you're a part of it all in real time rather than being in your own world. And sometimes that helps with like... This is taking it deep, but like mental health and stuff, like you're just like,
to
I'm
be
connected.
tuned in with reality.
Yeah, I'm like,
interesting.
You're not lost in your own reality, and sometimes that's like an issue for people and stuff. But I just found it interesting.
It is. I mean, obviously I haven't looked a ton into it. I think there's still obviously a future for it because I think it's
what does it look like and stuff.
Yeah, I think it just changes because podcasting has changed it. So like, does it become a bit more human and a bit more jovial because podcasting it's not as serious? I feel like that's if you actually looked at it in depth, I would guess that that's where it's changed. But
I just thought it was an interesting thing. And the other interesting thing, I googled. Do you know how much radio hosts make?
I like these different directions.
It's still content, but
flexibility these days.
It's true. I looked up the top hosts of radio, but Kyle and Jackie O, it's something like. Okay, maybe I'm not saying this right. But
Cousin Matt. That's his show, isn't it? No.
Yeah, shout out Matt Petherick. No, he does work on them. I messaged him about it because I found it interesting. But they're like on millions and millions, like 3-4 million. I swear.
Their salary.
Yeah, I know they're top of the top, but even like Will and Woody, who they're on Kiss, and they're the guys that I was actually listening to. I think they're on millions as well. I did not realize. I mean, maybe because they're the top, but
yeah,
all the power to them.
Good on them. I mean, that's sort of what I'm on.
So I mean, just
round out a bit.
That's kind of
good point. Good point from you. You brought a bit to the table this week
with the different thing, variety. I hope you got a variety of good things on this show. But Michael, take us away.
I've only got one more thing to show you.
Oh, you've got something.
Yeah, no, I put it down here. I don't know why.
It's ready to leave. Honestly,
it's honestly like I saw this during the week and I thought like, what the hell are we doing in terms of?
It's just got written. What are we doing here in bold?
In terms of content creation, so. This is a neck strap for your phone. So to get behind the scenes vision of you taking photos, I saw this device and I'll put it on screen that you literally wear it around your neck and your phone is half covering your vision, so you can place your phone in front of you in a holder and film your screen. What do you reckon about that?
Well, I reckon one, it looks stupid. Like you look at it, and you kind of laugh and you're like you said, what are we doing here? But I also think there's people who are going to be like, damn, BTS content.
But no, so the funny thing is,
you strap a GoPro to your
BTS
head.
content, great, but do what I do here and just mount an Insta360 or GoPro to your actual camera. Because you're still holding it. And I'll put this up on screen, but and it's not bagging this guy. He actually has some very good content and great photographer from what I've seen. But
G-Shot Pictures, go check him out.
yeah,
I'll check him out.
The phone, I'm sure this is a bit of a sponsored plug too, but the phone looks half in his way. Yeah, like it's impacting his photography. Anyway, a bit of a
I'll say all the points to him for creativity though. It actually looks like it's working.
I don't think he created it. He's just promoting the product.
It. That's very interesting. No, but I've never seen it before. So from my knowledge, if you promote something that I've never seen before, G-Shot Pictures invented that thing.
True. Okay. I mean, it's the power of maybe they'll think we created Stitch Untitled.
We didn't.
I had to get back to the run sheet.
That's it. Well, the funny thing is with the run sheet, Michael, you literally just said the last thing you wanted to touch on.
Oh, that is the last thing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Thanks for tuning in.
That's a wrap.
I appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you for that. Well. So next week we're going to touch on Tassie. What do you got on next week?
Well, it's going to be more Media Day prep.
Okay,
so thanks for your helpful advice. I'll probably scrap everything and just like everything's been done. So like I said, not to do with the Australian Social Media Marketing Summit. You don't take everyone's advice. Yeah, exactly. You're just going to delete your Media Day run through. No, I'll try to work out. But Media Day, big focus. Season's going to be here pretty quick.
Yeah, NBL season approaching. But yeah, I've got a good week. Thanks for throwing to me. No, I don't actually. I'm going to Tassie. Apart from that,
enjoy Tassie.
Yeah, I will. I'll let you know what it is.
Rug up in that.
Yeah, well, I'll have plenty. I'll have plenty to wear. Don't you worry. I'll probably be wearing these because it's close to the jacket.
Can I actually Can I get some of them?
Yeah, we'll organise that for you. But thank you for tuning in for episode 3 of TDC TV. I want to hear some more questions. So what are you struggling with this week? What do you need help with in the world of content? Darren and I want to help you. And we want to answer some real life questions because that's where the value actually is. There's no point. I mean, you can talk about anything we want, but if the question is actually being asked, they're real life struggles or real life things that people want to figure out. So
it helps us as well, by the way, because it makes you think about stuff you wouldn't normally think about, or it makes you discover new things you would not normally. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Darren, and we'll catch you episode 4 next week. Stitch Untitled. Let's get the logo over here, here, here. Here. Is it even? It's not in focus. Here, we'll just put that in focus. Here. There you go. Here. Overlay.